Hello, everybody. So I normally don't give any kind of sports commentary because I don't know anything about sports. Um, but I will say I did enjoy watching basketball in the 90s, and I'll say this. The Blazers have always been, well, almost always been a very good team. They had a handful of off years. But like if you were to say how many teams do well usually, how many teams usually do well, Blazers would be way up at the top. Like I would say top 10 as far as teams that typically make the playoffs. Like there's not a lot of years where they didn't make the playoffs or didn't get very, very close. And we've always been in a hard division. We have not had the cash that California does. And I think the Sonics got fucked even worse than we did, but I think we were a better team for more years than the Sonics. I remember I was up at Wild Waves with my brother, and it's up near Seattle, and this was the year that they tossed the Sonics. I don't remember, sold them, got rid of them. And my brother, he's wearing a Blazer shirt, my brother, and he says to me, have you noticed how people have been looking at us? And I said, no, I'm not. And he says, they're looking at us in a way like we might have to fight today. Because they were just pissed, and they were staring daggers at him. Because it was kind of unfair what happened to the Sonics, I will say that. And we always enjoyed watching the Sonics. Like, after the Blazers, like, because they flopped so many times that some members of my family became Sonics fans, and I kind of did too for a while. I thought Shawn Kemp was a great player before the crack. But regardless, we're just getting a little off the beaten path here. I think it's kind of crazy they're selling the Blazers, even though, like, I don't know anything about their numbers, but I always thought they were successful. There were a handful of years, like during the jail Blazers, where people just weren't attending. I thought they were a good team. I didn't care. I thought they played very well, even though they were assholes and they were always getting in fights. I just was in it to win it. But, other than that, I always thought attendance was good. Like, there's a lot of Blazers fans here. Like, Blazers culture is Portland culture. Maybe all those people left, so maybe it's hard to sell tickets now. And you got a bunch of mofos that aren't from here and they don't like the Blazers. I don't know. I don't know why they're selling the Blazers. The idea of the Blazers not selling tickets sounds crazy to me. The only time, like I said, the only time that happened is when our Blazers were being our players were being cocksuckers and getting in trouble, carrying guns when they, illegal guns, and getting pulled over, and they were doing some gangster shit, literally. And so, that it just took a little adjustment, and then we were right back on track. So for them to not adjust whatever's wrong just seems a little wild to me. God damn, the way people drive in this parking lot is crazy. People are idiots. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Crazy they're getting rid of the Blazers. Crazy.